Hi, it's Darren from DM Racing. We're here at sunny Anglesey for round 3 of the Caterham 7 UK Championships. Stay tuned to see loads of track action from this weekend. So we're back for day 2 of testing. It's a little bit windy, but not as windy as it was yesterday. We've got a little bit of sun out. It's not cloudy. Let's go and have some fun on track. So we've just finished testing. The sun is still shining down in Anglesey. It was a very productive day, so fastest I've went thus far over the 2 days, which bodes well for the race weekend. Yet again, if you haven't watched last video, take a look at that. One of my challenges has been consistency. We're starting to improve that. It's all about marginal gains this game, and we're starting to improve. So it bodes really well ahead of tomorrow, and I'm hoping to do the best I've done so far, so stay tuned. Welcome back. It's Saturday. We've got qualifying this morning, followed by race 1 this afternoon. So post-quali, I finished P5 in class, P10 overall. We had a strategy where, because Anglesey takes a lot out of the tyres, I went out on used tyres to get my eye in for a few laps. Then we came in, changed tyres onto the new slicks, which we've got for the weekend, the one set. And then I went out and did 3 flying laps where I got my fastest time. It's actually the fastest time I've ever done around Anglesey, so I'm incredibly happy with it, even though it was only P5 in class and P10 overall. Less mistakes, however there was 2 corners which cost me a second compared to my colleague Craig Story, who finished on pole, and fantastic result for him, his first super pole and his first pole overall. So we're racing this afternoon. So you join me post race 1 in the luxurious changing room that we've got at DPR. Race 1 went really well. So whilst I qualified P10, I ended up finishing P9, which doesn't sound like a massive improvement, but I was fighting for 3rd place in the AMS. I threw it away, unfortunately, with 2 laps to go. Chris Fraser got ahead of me, but I was really happy with the consistency of how I was driving, how I was improving. I was filling gaps where I needed to fill gaps, so it bodes incredibly well ahead of tomorrow. So I was really happy. It's disappointing to not get Woods in terms of getting on the podium, but tomorrow's a new day and it appears that we're competitive, so we're going to get after it. So we're now at Anglesey on Sunday, race day 2. Race 2 is now in the books. I finished P4 in the AM class again. To be honest, it was pretty much of a non-event of a race. I was running P5 in the AMs for a large amount of time, and then Chris Fraser did a drive shaft. I was just making a couple of mistakes, so my driving has certainly improved. It's followed on from yesterday. However, I went through turn 1 off the start in the wrong gear. I didn't actually go when the lights went off at the start, so there's a few little mistakes which I can definitely improve going into the next race. So really excited about fighting for a podium in the next race, so let's see how we get on. So you joined me after race 3. It was a race to forget, to be honest. I've ended up getting 3 points on my racing license because I spun Chris Fraser around accidentally, which I was, did apologise for, and it was a shame. To be honest, I just really did not drive that well. Tyres fell off, but more importantly, it was my driving. So we have to put these things down to experience. Overall, it was a fantastic race weekend. Race 1 and race 2, great learnings, great improvements. Race 3 is just one for the books that we're going to chalk down to experience. Next out, we're at Croft. Cannot wait for Croft. Make sure you stay tuned for plenty of action.